people that really suffer with neck pain, shoulder discomfort, anything in this area over here, and I'm one of those people. So if you find that you're sitting at a desk all day, computers, if you're driving a lot, these muscles can get quite, I want to say the word stiff. They become tight, so you can almost think of muscles as shrinking if we're in that position the whole time. So we're going to have a really good stretch around the neck, and I'm going to introduce you to some challenging exercises, and they are challenging in terms of difficult to do, but they're not very comfortable. But these are fantastic for strengthening this area over here, which can become quite weak and inhibited. And when that becomes weak and inhibited, these muscles here take over, and then we'll end up with our shoulders hunched up around the neck all the time, and then this is what's causing a lot of pain in the shoulders and the neck. So, like I said, I'm not a fan of these, but the first week that I discovered these exercises, I was like, oh my god, I hate them. Oh, hello. I did feel a bit of a release in the shoulders, and I'm sharing that with you today. So this is going to be, there's going to be 3 videos. So today we're going to go through the first level, and then we're going to build it up through the next few videos. Now, whenever we're going to work on shoulder strengthening, it's a good idea to do stretching first. So even if you go to the gym and you're going to do a lot of strengthening around the upper back shoulder area, it's always advisable to stretch off the neck, especially this area over there, because there's muscles there that if you don't stretch and you're trying to strengthen, A, you could pull a muscle, and B, the next couple of days you could really have a really stiff neck. So that's what we're going to start with. Now, I have a band. You can use any strength band. This one's quite a thick one. Or if you've got weights you can use as well. Or nothing. You don't have to have anything. So if you have a band, have it so that your heels are on the band. Sometimes people put their front foot and it actually puts the band more forward, whereas we're trying to get the shoulders back. So if you put the band in line with the heel, it just puts the band in a better place. So you want the band nice and tight, and then we're going to stand up nice and tall. So I'm going to do a few of these facing you, and then I'll turn around. So we're just going to start with basic shoulder rolls. I like to call them shoulder squares. So standing nice and tall, just lengthen your spine first. So imagine I'm trying to touch the ceiling with the crown of my head. So you don't want to be in this kind of shape. So lift the spine up. I like to think of trying to put little pockets of air between each vertebra. From here, we're going to pull the shoulders forward, take them up to the ears, to the wall behind you, and I'm going to slide the shoulder blades down the back. Okay? So let's do another one. Shoulders forward, take them up, wall behind you, and slide them down. Now be mindful that you don't become like a noddy dog or the chin, so I'm going to exaggerate what we're trying to avoid. So often when people come into this one, they'll duck their head forward. Okay, so if I was against the wall, obviously it's a bit harder to do the shoulders, but that part of the body, the neck, the head, and the spine wouldn't move. So shoulders forward, take them up, wall behind you. Just get some movement into the shoulders. And often when I start to move, I think I get a hot flush. Whew. Good. And I'm already feeling the neck pulling. So we really want to focus on just spending a little bit of time in this warm-up. So now the other thing you want to be mindful of is that we don't use the biceps. So another thing people can often do is as they lift the shoulders, they're actually doing that with their arms. Okay? So great bicep exercise, but we really want to get into the shoulder joint. Good. And I tend not to do forward, only because we're already in that position, that shape. We don't need to encourage it, so I always only just do the back circle. But I'm already feeling pulling in my neck. Lovely. So let's hold it there, and we're going to take the left ear to left shoulder. So left ear to left shoulder. Now this one, if you can put yourself up against a wall or a door or something, is ideal, because that will give you feedback. So I've got the back of my head against the wall, and I'm going to slide the back of my head down towards the left shoulder. Now from your sternum, in between your collarbones, so from there to your pubic bone, you want that to stay in a nice straight line. So just being careful of that kind of thing. So it's only the neck on top of the head, on the neck on top of the head, the head on top of the neck. Is that it? Yeah. So ear to shoulder, head on top of the neck. And now try and squeeze the shoulder blades together and slide the shoulders down the back, especially your right hand. That one, this is why it's ideal to hold something heavy or a bag, is that that's pulling down towards my right heel. And as I do that, I'm going to keep trying to pull the head closer towards the shoulder. It's not very comfortable. What my shoulder wants to do is that. So your brain, there to keep your body comfortable and safe. So things that can go wrong with this one, like I said, people lean or they tilt forward, and I'm just going to turn to the side. So what I mean by tilt forward is that shoulder might drop down. Now that can be a lack of awareness, and it can also be tight muscles in your body. So it could be the muscles that are pulling that shoulder because they're so stiff, but you want to keep focusing on pull that shoulder back and down. Good, and then bring the head up, have the shoulder on. And these are exercises that I'll try and do at least once a day. So take the head over towards your right shoulder. Especially now as I record a lot of videos and I do teacher training, there's a lot of time that I spend on the computer in between teaching. So my neck does get stiff, just like everybody else. Sometimes I think people think teachers are perfect. You know, our bodies are perfect, and they're not. So now I'm already feeling my right shoulder pull up as well. So just relax the right shoulder, left shoulder back and down, ear to there. And again, just be careful that we're not leaning. So idea to have a mirror or a window that reflects. Mirror is better, and I know people go, oh, I don't want to look in front of a mirror. But rather than thinking of looking at yourself in the mirror, think of, I'm looking at my alignment. I'm looking at how the bones sit in my body. I'm looking at if I'm straight, and then come back up, have a shoulder up. And we have found, we've got mirrors in the studio, and in the beginning people hated them, and now you can see everybody's looking to see if they're sitting up straight. And if we can cover the mirrors for videos sometimes, and then they ask, can you take the covers off? We can't see. Lovely. So now we're going to do nose, what I say nose. We're going to take the head over towards the left. So sometimes the chin will pull up, or sometimes the ear will go down. So you're literally just swiveling the head around. If you think of a little toy where the head just spins around, if the nose was going to draw a line on the wall around you, that line would be in the same place the whole way around the wall. It wouldn't be going up and down. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to swivel the head around. Now squeeze those shoulder blades together, slide them down the back. Now particularly with this one, we've got muscles that attach around there and they come down to the front of the shoulder called scalenes. So if there's any stiffness, now in the old days, remember in the old days you used to have to hold your phone there while you were typing. Those muscles would have got quite tight then and stiff. So now when you try and turn your head, it would pull the shoulder. So what we're trying to do is turn the head as much as you can, and at the same time pull that right shoulder back and squeeze it down towards your heels. And you might even find the hip wants to pull around. So there's something called fascia in the body, which is a connective tissue, and it connects the whole body. Good, so come back to the front, have the shoulder on. And this connective tissue, take it to the right, shoulder blades down, so this side is feeling a little bit more stiff for me. So the connective tissue connects front to back, down the sides, top to bottom. It's like I want to say it's like a mummy wrapping, but it's not wrapped around the body like that. But it connects, it holds all the muscles together, each group muscle, set of muscles, limbs, top half, bottom half. So if there's tightness over here, it can pull on the fascia that's connected to the front of the hip, especially, and the body is, it's called the connecting chain. So sometimes the shoulder might be sore, but it's actually something in the opposite foot that's causing the problem. So when you're trying to turn your head there, you might even get the hip going, because there might be tightness somewhere in the fascia. So it's really important to release fascia as well. So let's just stay for a few more breaths. So each time you breathe out, can you look further over your shoulder? And can you pull the shoulder back and down? So you will probably notice one side feels more comfortable or easier. And then come back to the front, have a shoulder rock. So I'm going to turn to the side. And this one is probably my most uncomfortable, but my nicest. You know, sometimes you get that one where it's like, oh, oh, oh. So let me put that down for a minute. So the back of the head there, coming down into where the side of the shoulder blade is called a muscle, a muscle called Levator scapular muscle. And that's the muscle where people get a lot of pain in their shoulder, and they get a knot. Don't get Paul started on a knot. They get a knot, they get sore neck, tension, headaches, anything like that, and that comes from that muscle in there. So this is now going to stretch up that muscle. So I'm going to turn the head 45 degrees, so you're still holding your band. 45 degrees to the left. Now I'm going to reverse the chin. I'm going to send the chin backwards to try and take this curve out of the neck. And I'm going to drop the chin down above the collarbones. So what this is getting into there is there, down the collarbones into the right shoulder blades. So from the side, 45 degrees to the left, reverse the chin first, and I'm taking the chin above the collarbones. So it's not a forward bend, so we're not rolling the body down into that position. It's almost like you're actually trying to keep the occipital lobe touching the wall, but you will need to bring your head slightly more forward than that. But imagine you were trying to keep the neck lifting up towards the ceiling rather than folding forward. Okay? So let me grab my band. Like I said, this one, it isn't particularly comfortable, but I have just found once it's released, that first little bit, it's like, oh, feels amazing. So, reverse the car. Good. Now when I'm holding it here, it takes about 20 seconds, or maybe a little bit more or less, for the muscles in the body to go, oh, okay, I'm used to that, let's go a little bit deeper. So, obviously with trying to do videos, we're not going to be here all day, but this is something you can do while boiling the kettle, whatever. You know, find times in the day that you can practice these things. Now, when I'm holding that position, I'm trying to drop, especially the opposite shoulder, back and down, back and down, back and down, as I'm trying to take the chin closer to the collarbone. So I still haven't dropped the spine down, literally trying to pull the neck down. So I'm gazing just under my armpit. Bring your head up, take it over to the other side. Oh, let's have a shoulder roll first and then we'll go to the back. So reverse your chin. Oh, this is what I mean. Oh, chin down and then pull the shoulders back. So the first few seconds is like, oh, and it's like, oh, such a lovely stretch, this one. So now focus on your left shoulder blade. Can you get your left shoulder blade down to the spine and then let the band work. Trying to take the chin closer to the collarbone and gazing towards my right armpit. Again, just being aware that there's any tilting with the hips. So it's a good idea to do things against the wall sometimes. Bring the head up, come back to the centre, have a shoulder roll. Lovely. So let's release that. So we've stretched it off. We're just going to do a little bit of movement with the neck. So like we've just done, we're going to take it to the left, take it to the right, take it to the left, take it to the right. Like I can feel on the right side it's a little bit stiff and achy. And then trim down. So I'm not throwing my head back. What I'm actually trying to do is keep the neck straight and just tilt the skull on the head back a little bit. So my eyes are going to about here rather than up towards there. So get in the right position, chin down. So you can see the spine isn't wiggling about. And then ear to shoulder. And be gentle with yourself. Sometimes people like throw their body around. Shoulders are back and down, back and down, back and down. And then bring your head up. 45 to the left, reverse switch and take it down. Bring it up. Bring it up. Just do one more each side. And then come back to the front. Lovely. Right. So let's get started with this exercise. So like I said, we are going to taper this up over the next couple of 3 videos. I've got 3 planned for you. And so this is now what this, like I said, they're not very comfortable. There's 6 positions that we are going to put our arms into. And what we are focusing on with this is trying to bring the shoulder blades closer together and to activate these muscles over here called the lower trapezius muscles. And they can become very, I want to say dormant, they can become quite weak when these muscles, the upper trapezius muscles, they become dominant. And they become dominant because it's easy, the stuff is easy for them to do. So these muscles are like, oh, well, he can do it all because it's easy for him. I don't want to feel it do any work. So we're going to focus on strengthening these to pull the shoulders down. Okay? So with this one, we'll have the toes turned inwards. And I'm just looking on camera, I might have to just... So we're going to be lying on our front. And I'm just going to quickly show you here while we're in the seat. Can you see my feet? So we're going to have our feet pigeon-toed. But we're going to be lying on our front. And the reason for that is it's going to turn off some of the bum cheeks. It's going to stop the muscles from working so that we can really target the upper back. Otherwise, if the bum's firing up too much, the bum can help the back. So, and again, we're taking some of the effort away from where we want it. So we're going to have the toes turned inwards. Now, if you've got big boobs or a package, you might want to shuffle around until you're in the right place. So my toes are turned in, and you can use a block under the head. So you can use a block under the forehead. I didn't get a little cushion to start with. I'm just going to put this here so it's a bit softer. Now we're going to start with the palms. Now you might want to watch me first with this one. So make sure I'm on that camera here. So the palms are going to be facing down. Okay. So my toes are turned in, they're touching, and I'm going to try and relax everything in the bum. So although my tummy is pulling in, and I'm gently pushing the pubic bone into the floor, I'm trying not to activate these too much. So if at any point during this you're feeling your knees coming off of the floor, then you know that there's too much activity going on in the legs. Okay? So palms facing down. I'm actually going to get rid of that block. So we're going to keep the head on the floor the whole time with this whole set. So palms facing down. Now, belly button in, pubic bone in. Relax the legs, don't switch the bottom half on anymore. Have a shoulder roll and pull the shoulder blades together, lift the hands, and then reach the hands up and try and bring them closer together. But you want to try and pull the fingers towards your heels. So we're getting this part of the back to fire up, to pull the shoulder blades down the back, and then relax down. So, carry on. So what I'm going to show you the arm positions that we're going to go through, and then we'll start going through them together. The next position we're going to have is the palms facing down in that position. Then we're going to turn the hands so the palms are facing forward, so your thumbs are up, and you can have fist or long fingers. Then we're going to have cactus arms. This one we only do palms facing inwards, thumbs up. And then the two that's not very nice is palms facing down and then palm fingers up. So there's 6 positions for us to work through. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 6 positions. Like I said, and this is the start level. We're going to work a little bit harder in the next video. These are challenging, so if you're huffing and puffing, don't worry, I'll probably be joining you. So let's have the hands down to the side. Toes are turned inwards and touching. So you might need to give your hips a wiggle. Now, belly button in. Roll your shoulder blades together. Now squeeze your spine with your shoulder blades, float the hands up. And then reach the hands away. So the whole idea of this is to imagine that you're actually trying to touch the back of your heels. Okay? If you're not sure if your bum's firing up too much, just give your bums a fondle. Or if you can feel your knees coming off of the floor, then you know that there's too much activity going on in the bottom half of the body. And then relax down. We'll do 2 more. Belly button, pubic bone. Roll the shoulder blades together, the palms stay facing the floor, reach the hands down towards the heels, the head stays relaxed on the floor, or if your forehead is on a block, and then relax down. So I'm starting to feel this in the right side on the left neck area. So if you've got one place in particular where you can feel this is starting to tell you what's going on inside your body. So shoulder roll. And then squeeze those shoulder blades into your spine, reach your fingers away. Reach, 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 and then relax down. Good. Now let's have arms lengthened out to the side. Now what I like to do is I like to activate the shoulders first and then lift the arms. But you might want to lift the arms first and then activate the shoulders. Okay, not really a right or a wrong one. So from here, squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift your hands. Now just notice if your hands are trying to drop down towards your hips or go up. You want to try and keep your arms in a T position. So I might want to do something like that. Relax the head. Come down. Oh. Belly button, pubic bone. Shoulder blades come together, float the hands up. Long exhale, give it a big squeeze. Now just notice, do your shoulders feel like they're trying to come up behind the neck? Remember that's those upper trapezius muscles, they're trying to kick in and get involved. Get those shoulder blades down. It's really, really challenging while you're trying to squeeze the shoulder blades as well. Oh. One more. Belly button, pubic bone. Squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the hands. Now, try and pull those shoulder blades down the back. And then relax the arms. Cactus arms. So your elbows are in line with your shoulders. Your wrists are in line with your elbows. The palms are facing in. The thumbs are up. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lift your elbows. Lift your hands. Now you might find your hands want to drop down or your elbows want to drop. Trying to keep it all in exactly the same line as you squeeze the shoulder blades together. And remember, try and pull them down. Oh, I can feel it in my neck. I can't remember how we've done. If you know how many we've done, we're just doing 3, but I'm going to do a couple more. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift the hand. Relax down. Good. Right. Arms lengthen out in front. Still got my toes together, belly button pulled in, my head stays down. So also just be aware that you're not pushing down in the head. That can happen sometimes. So you want to try and relax the head. So now I'm going to, this is the hardest one because it's quite hard to squeeze the shoulder blades here. So I'm going to squeeze the shoulder blades and lift. And then come down. So my right arm has an issue with the shoulder, so you might be able to see that when I try and squeeze it, it wants to come out to the side. Good, and then last one here. We're nearly there, guys, we're nearly there. Belly button, pubic bone. Lift the hands, now squeeze those shoulder blades together. And relax. Good. Last set, palms facing in, last set. Belly button, pubic bone, lift and then squeeze the shoulder blades. Try and relax the head. And then relax. Oh, those are so challenging. Or is it just me? Belly button, pubic bone, lift the hand and then squeeze the shoulder blades. And down. Paul would say, don't collapse down, come down with control. The last one. The hand, squeeze the shoulder blades. And then relax. Oh, that is the hard work done. Bring your hands under your shoulders. So wrists and elbows under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Tuck the tailbone under. So I'm sending my tailbone between my legs, pulling the pubic bone towards my sternum, and then lift the heart. Just for a quick relax. Relax, I should say, release, and then come back to the front. Whew. So, let's just go through a little bit of a neck release again. So looking to the left, looking to the right, looking to the left. And hopefully your range of motion feels a little bit better. It might feel quite stiff, it might feel quite challenging, but it's doing its good. It's doing its good. Come back to the front, ear to shoulder. Like I said, the first time I did this, I wanted to cry, those exercises. Tomorrow we're going to build onto that. But after a week of doing them, I was like, oh yeah, this actually, I think I woke up on a Friday of doing these the whole week, and I'm like, oh, there's no pain. And then come up, 45 degrees, reverse the chin. Oh. And side. Oh. And then last one coming up, take it over to the other side, rest your chin, and then bring yourself back up, a couple of shoulder blades. Lovely. So, if you have now felt like this side for me, and I know I have issues anyway, this side, if you feel that that side is a lot more challenging, and just do some more stretching on that side. So, like I said, wait till you're probably going to go make yourself a cup of tea. Go and do these neck stretches while you are making the cup of tea on the side that is the most challenging for yourself. So thank you so much. I absolutely